Once again, what is up? Midwest DBS with another deck profile. We're doing the Frieza reboot. This isn't the actual Frieza reboot leader. It's not out yet. But I'm just using the old Mecha as a substitute. So I'll also have the deck linked below. So if you just want to see the deck, you can click there to see it. Once again, if you like the content that we're doing, like, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. So with the new reboot leader, on the front side, you can only activate an extra card from your hand once per turn. And you can take a life to reduce the yellow cost of a card by 1 yellow. And then also, when it attacks, you get to draw a card, and then you awaken at 4 or less, where you can restand 1 energy and draw a card. So essentially, it just allows you to play extra cards for no cost. On the front side, the only thing on the front side, you can only play 1 extra card per turn. So when you do awaken, this leader is a lot more powerful on the awaken side. Now this, like I said, isn't the actual card, but the new one reads, now you lose that permanent where you can only play 1 extra card per turn, but it does say you can take 1 life, and you can take any mono yellow extra card, which it costs 2 or less, and only take 1 life to play it for free. So you can play your 1-drop yellow extra cards for free, your 2-drop yellow extra cards for free, just by taking a life. So when this deck flips over as Awaken, other decks trying to go for a game, we've been testing it, have a really hard time closing the game just because generally you have energy open to do extra cards, and then you can also just start using free extra cards just by taking a life. So really powerful. When it attacks, it draws a card, and also it has auto once per turn. When you activate a yellow extra card, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Really defensive once it flips over. Let's go over the deck real quick. So our negate, a choice. We're running 4 Nimbus. Nimbus is just a really good defensive negate. It's been around for a while. And essentially with this leader, it can be free. So it's still good, like all of these can. So we played 2 Planet Vegeta. We're not playing apes at all in this deck. The main reason for Planet Vegeta is situationally, you can look for certain Saiyan cards we have in this deck. Not many. But at the core, since you get to play it for free, if you choose to, essentially what this means is you get to play this, draw a card, which the card you draw is off your life, and then you get to search your deck to go find a Saiyan, and then it'll still restand. It'll restand your Great Apes, whatever Great Apes it finds. We are playing, sorry, it's not a Great Ape theme deck, but there's a Great Ape this deck does play. And so essentially for 0 energy, you get to find 2 cards, which is pretty nuts. Giant Ball. Same thing. It's a counterplay. And when you play this card, you get to draw a card. So once again, either you spend the energy or you're doing it for free. We are a Frieza leader, so we're definitely running 1 Cold Bloodlust. Still probably one of the best counterplays in the game because it costs 1, and in this deck it can be free. So next we run 2 Tyrannical Blow. Now this is a Draft Box edition, the new Draft Box. Actually, this deck runs a lot of Draft Box cards, so it's not the cheapest deck to build. But through testing, this deck has just been really good so far. But this is another counterplay, and this card is truly card is yellow. The battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less. It is played with its skills negated for the turn, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and or unison cards and negate its skills for the turn. So this can negate skills of 2 cards in 1 swoop for 1 energy or for free because it's the leader. Next, we're also playing Vegeta's Final Flash. Really good card. It gives your leader a 15k, and then all your energy will be. So make sure you don't charge any of your black cards, which this deck doesn't have many black cards because you want to keep the other auto open, which is auto fire. Your energy is yellow when you activate this card. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills for the turn. So as you can see, this deck is countering, negating skills, essentially making cards that do stuff vanilla, and a lot of counterplays, just really good. Next, we're playing 3 Universe 9 Assemble. Because once you're flipped over on the Awaken side, you can take a life, which since you're drawing a card, you get to play this for free. And through testing a lot, since this deck does tap down a lot, it can tap down energy, just tap down a lot of cards. I've been able to do both effects. So it's for free. I get a card off the leader. I get to draw 2 cards, and I get a search a battle card and bring into play. And this card's activate man or battle, which makes it really good too. So let's get into our Universe 9 engine, because this is running 2 engines, technically. So we play the Iron Drake. It's a good card to get because it has auto once per turn. When your opponent attacks, you get to choose one of their energy and switch it to rest mode. Once again, tapping down stuff. This card's Basil. It's another target for Universe 9 Assemble, and also it's just a good card. It's a 1-drop. When it comes into play, it replaces itself, it draws a card. And then if your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, it has an auto, which gives it dual attack and a plus 15k, so it's a 19k. And don't forget when you do that, when you do the auto and it's your turn, you pass the turn to your opponent, it's still a 19k. I've had people swing into it thinking it's still a 4k because it doesn't actually reset till your turn, and then they basically wasted an attack. So it's a good little trick if your opponent's not paying attention, which sometimes they don't. They just see 4k and think they're swinging down to 4k. Borgamo, really good card. It procs off of when one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode. And essentially it works like an arrival, but it's an auto. It costs a yellow and a colorless. And then the auto is when you play this card, you get to switch up to 2 of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier, and switch into rest mode. It can pick battle cards and or energy. So really sweet. Next, we're going to go into our second engine, which is our Lord Slug engine from the new draft box. So this card, when you play it, once again, it's good. It replaces itself. And we're mainly using it for the first effect, although you can use it to switch it to rest mode. The second effect switches up to rest mode, but it's activate main. You pay yellow, and you choose... Okay, yeah. Choose 1 Slug's Army card in your... Hold on. I think this card goes to the drop when you do it. Yeah, you pay 1 yellow, and then choose 1. Choose up to 1 of your Slug's Army card with the original cost at 3 or less in your hand and play it. Then place this card in the drop area. So our targets for this, we got Angela. He is a bond 2, unique, so you can only have 1 in play, and critical. But if your opponent has 4 or more cards in rest mode, when this card attacks your opponent, you choose 2 of the cards, and they can't switch back to active mode until start of your next turn. And it's really good because it can keep battle cards locked down. It can keep energy locked down. So just depending on the situation, you get to pick and do what you want to do. Testing online, I took a game off Red Broly with this deck just because I was able to be awakened, play a whole bunch of cards for free, and on his turn 2, I was able to lock down his only 2 energy, so he had no energy, and it was really good. So the other one we play is Lord Slug, Super Namekian. Same thing, unique. He has barrier set of crit. He's still a bond 2, but this card is really, really fun to play with, especially in conjunction with everything else going on in this deck. When this card is in rest mode, opponents can't add cards from their deck to their hand without using a leader skill. So anything that makes them search their deck or cantrips a card, anything that makes them add cards from the deck to their hand that's not your leader, they can no longer do that. So that just really good. Puntine, the Dark Sorcerer. Love this card. A lot of this card's deck is unique, but it doesn't matter. This card just has a lot of synergy with the deck. Because the leader is yellow, when your opponent's card is switched to rest mode by one of your skills, could be an extra card, could be your lead, just any of your skills, you get to play it for free. Now, once it's on the field, and it has barrier, I forgot that says card's hard to remove. When your opponent plays a battle card using its skill or activates counter skill, so if they negate any counter attack, counter play, you get to choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So just lots of stuff to rest mode. Since we're not doing much with our drop area except for 1 card, we're playing Secret Identity Mass Saiyan. This deck's already really defensive, but yellow does have trouble with just straight up removing cards. It can definitely rest a lot of cards, but this is for your hard removal. We're playing 2 Goku Apes. You don't even need the Goku Apes. You could run the 4th copy of this and bring this up to 4. This card is getting a little bit more expensive, and it's because of this leader. But this card isn't necessary. And we run 4 Bardock, Raiders Warcry, great card, draft box staple. On turns where you need to be aggressive and you're on the play, especially on turn 2, you can just churn this out and just start swinging double strike. It really good because after your combo, it comes into play, you get to draw a card, and you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Next, you're going to go with the card that hasn't been released yet. This card isn't chilled. It's supposed to be the new 5-drop Frieza from the new set. So that's what this is just in place of. I think, yeah, it's called Frieza's Divine Transformation. They're both 5-drops, but Frieza's Divine Transformation will cost you 5 yellow. But that's not a problem because all you're going to be doing is charging yellow. And what it reads, it's a 25k, so the same power. But the cool thing is, the Frieza is Deflect, Double Strike, and Blocker. It also has a permanent, this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills. So really hard to remove. And then it has an auto. If your leader card is yellow, when this card is played, you choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO them. So with the amount of cards this deck puts in rest mode, and sometimes your opponent's trying to swing you down, you're putting cards in rest mode. They already put some of their own cards in rest mode by trying to attack you. You drop this and you're just going to clear cards from their board. It also has another auto, which is once per turn. When your opponent activates a counterattack skill, choose up to 2 of their cards, switch into rest mode, and they can't be switched to active mode until the start of your opponent's next turn. Oh, and I forgot one more ability this card has. Totally forgot about it. Which the other ability I think has to do more with the other Frieza leader. But after the effect where you get to KO all your opponent's cards in rest mode, then you flip flip one face-up card in your life face down and switch this card to active mode. So actually you'll never be doing that because this leader does not do that. But still a really, really powerful card. Next we're going to go over super combos. We play 2 of these. Just a great card. And it has no requirements. Like your life doesn't have to be at a certain place, and it's just a 10k combo. And then you get to choose the opponent's leader or battle card and switch it to rest mode. Last but not least, our other super combo is Counterblast Sun Gohan. So the main reason why we're running this one is because it is searchable. It just gave us more searchable targets off of our Planet Vegeta. So that's the main reason. You could run 4 Zamasus, or you could even run 4 of these. This is a draw super combo, but also has well, here, just let me read it to you guys. He has several abilities. So when this card is used in a combo, you choose one. You draw a card, so that's the draw aspect of it. And then, but your life has to be 4 or less to use those abilities. And also has during your opponent's turn, if your opponent has 5 or more battle cards in rest mode, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that cost 5 or less in rest mode and KO it. You could also just play it out for 1, and when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. Also, a couple honorable mentions. As far as SCRs go, I didn't put any in this deck right now, but what I would suggest is, as always, if you have Cell Xeno, put Cell Xeno in it. You could play the cheaper Sin Shinron SCR because this deck does have a lot of 1-drop extra cards, has this 1-drop super combo. It does play enough 1-drops that it could facilitate that as well. Or you could even play my go-to if you don't have an SCR, which is the big Fu Shrouded Mystery, which is a great card. So there's just a couple cards I recommend. That's all I got for you guys on this deck. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.